Sat down and so I heard someone say something about the time on their watch, and I said, "Oh yeah, actually mine's more accurate than yours, since mine's synchronized with NASA." And these two dorks started laughing. So mind you, I'm like 10 years old. They started laughing at me, and they were like clock nerds. And he's like, "Actually, mine's more synchronized than yours. Mine's set with the whatever the big clock in Denver is."
Oh, Jesus. All right. That's some silliness. Okay, are you recording?
Yeah, I'm recording.
Hey, I'm recording too. That means we're live on 7ish Things.
We're live. New studio.
Sort of. So, last episode, we had some constructive criticism, and one of those pieces of constructive criticism was actually pretty apt, which was, hey, you guys should start the show by telling people what the 7 things you're going to talk about were, which is how we used to do it before you.
Yeah.
So I thought we would do that again today.
I mean, I think that's a good pro tip.
Yeah, you would think so, right? Telling people what you're actually going to talk about, despite the fact that it's on the fucking screen when you download it in the images, because I spend so much time on those.
Right.
Anyway, so our topics today. This is a last minute change, but breaking news, Conor fucking McGregor, worth talking about. We're going to talk about UFC 223. I'm going to get a little bit more into taking constructive criticism. There's something I want to get off my chest on one of those pieces of feedback that we got. I want to talk about Bill and Ted 3 and other potentially needed sequels from old movies.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, I thought we might talk about some of the best NES games, the original 8-bit Nintendo games.
Word.
What else you might be playing now, and then wearing sunglasses inside and other exceptionally douchebaggy moves in the real world. That aren't wearing mullets, things like that. Oh, speaking of which, before I even get into it, I got this pile of miscellaneous old pictures, school pictures of me and whatnot.
Do you have a
One
mullet?
of them, oh God, yeah, it's so amazing. It's when I still had hair, and I was maybe 4th or 5th grade, and it's short on top, party in the back. It's
oh
God, it's so terrible and wonderful at the same time.
Did you ever have a rat tail?
No, but the evolution between the two pictures that I found was, one of them was me with a mullet, and then the follow-up picture was me probably 2 or 3 years later with the bowl cut, shaved underneath, long on top. Yeah. Oh, well,
I had a bowl cut for like 10 years. I think like everybody in my high school probably had it.
You had a bowl cut for a decade?
Wait a minute.
What? Give me the
No, because it started at no. Hold on, let's see. I want to say it started out in like 92. When I was like 10.
You didn't go 92 to 2002 with a bowl cut.
No. See, I'm wrong. My guerrilla math is wrong. I want to. Okay, so let's. I think it's about 5 or 6 years, but it was like so it started out with like just a bowl cut, and then it was like somebody got like a little bit shaved underneath, and then somebody escalated to getting a deeper shave, and then it was like straight edge. It's like, oh, I got shaved straight edge with a razor. I'm like, that's so dangerous.
Oh my God.
So brave. And then they came back with like that purple like neck. It's like, oh God. Fire your barber, bro.
Oh, so I found amongst the other things in there was hair from my first haircut. Which is disgusting. My mom saved it.
Did you find your foreskin too?
No, just the hair. The first, that's so terrible. Parents. I have no sentiment. I'm not sentimental, so I don't save that shit, but my kid's mom does. So that's who I got all this pile of stuff, or my stuff that when I was still in her possession, and one of them was hair from my first haircut. And I held it up, and I said, oh, it's the last of it. It's the last of my hair. I mean, I guess I grow more every month.
No, that's not accurate, but yeah, maybe.
Or the first of it. It's the first of it. The first of my hair.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, I guess we should start.
So why did you hold on a second? Why would your mom save your first pube shave? Why would she say that?
I don't know, but also with my hair was my mom's first haircut from 1958. So I've got some 50-year-old hair in there too, Which, when you put it like that, is really fucking gross. Just, hey, here's some nostalgic 50-year-old hair.
You need to put that on someone's sandwich.
Like, I don't want to touch it. So what do you do with it? You just look at it. You look at the envelope that contains it, and that's enough nostalgia for you. Is just
you got to put it in one of those like biohazard bags.
Oh, I don't know. And it feels wrong to throw it away, which is even more confusing. So I don't understand. I'm not a nostalgic parent. My kids' hair and haircuts aren't exciting for me. I like to live in the moment. I was there. I remember it. I'll remember their hair. I don't need to hold an envelope with the discarded remains of their. It's gross.
So now that you've terrified our 9 listeners.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I know for a fact. So here's a shout out to one of our listeners. Is that a friend of mine, Leanne, listens and actually uses the YouTube version. So if I do manage to create this magical puppet of you that I wanted to, then she will be the only person I definitively know will enjoy that. So if you're looking at a video across or a split screen video right now where I'm on this side, this side, and over here is a puppet.
So are you recording? Is that why you're saying this side?
Yeah. Sure. I've got video recording too. I'm just playing with it. I'm just seeing if it's good.
Right. So wait a minute.
I'm not a good-looking man, so I've got a voice for radio, not a face for one. Wait.
We do have more listeners though.
Do you know how many we have? 6, 7, 16, 13, 12, 10. I don't know.
I'm gonna say it's around 13 and a half.
13 and who's the half?
Well, it's something that probably listened to like 5 minutes of it and like, oh, this is dope. This is awesome, and then just turned it off.
It's so dope I cannot continue.
Right. I want to savor it, so I'm gonna listen to it 5 minutes at a time.
Yeah, they listen to it. They're just like, this is dope. And then
so I'm gonna call this out. That so the problems with my mic. I was not in a bathtub. I got a lot of criticism back. I might have been in a closet, my mom's basement. I was in the janitor closet at a Foot Locker. I mean, there was a lot of different things that were thrown back. So,
well, it's an ample opportunity to create a really good one-line joke, right? I mean, if you did sound like shit, is the bottom line.
Right. Well, that's because I was using the computer microphone and not the blue snowball that I bought here.
So what you're telling me, it was an ID10T error.
Problem exists between keyboard and chair.
Yeah, PepCac.
Yeah.
Yeah, good old PepCac. Here's a story from real quick, from my IT days, as I spent the first 10 years or so of my professional life doing information technology support. Nerd alert. Nerd. So I got a call once. I was doing phone tech support for this ISP here in Sacramento that no longer exists. And this was during that time where Ally McBeal was on, and they had that weird digitally generated dancing baby thing.
Oh.
Yeah. So this woman calls me up, got that old lady voice, and I answer the phone. This is support, Merlin, how can I help you, etc. And she says, I'm looking for the dancing baby. And
what?
I knew what she was talking about, the dancing baby, but I didn't know what she meant by that. So I said, excuse me, I could you elaborate a little more? Could you tell me a little bit more about your problem? She says, well, I'm looking for the dancing baby. And I talked to the guys downstairs. The ISP I was working for was on the second floor of a computer store here in Sacramento. Mm-hmm. She says, I talked to the guys downstairs, and they said that I could get the dancing baby on the internet and that you guys were the internet, so I'm calling you to get me the dancing baby. And don't tell me you don't have the dancing baby, because that's what the guys downstairs said.
Damn. She's like 100 too.
Oh, yeah. So I don't know what to do, so I start working with her, and I'm like, okay, well, let's just maybe get you a web browser. We'll get you to a search engine. We'll get you over to Alta Vista.
What's a web browser?
Yeah, we're not even there. I'm thinking we're going to get her on Yahoo or Alta Vista, because that's what it was at the time. Do
web
a search
crawler.
on dancing baby. Could have been. Web.com. And so I say, okay, well, what do you see on your computer right now? And she says, it's just like normal. Or I said, what do you see on the screen? And she says, it's just normal. It looks like it normally does. I say, well, could you explain to me what normal is for you? She says, it's the same thing that I see every day. It depends on which channel I'm watching.
Nice.
And channel? And she says, yeah, I'm looking at the channel. Right now I'm watching channel 3. And I said, okay, well, what about your computer? And she says, I don't have a computer. Okay, ma'am. Well...
So these guys trolled you before trolling was cool.
God, I went down...
Because you can't get them off the call. You can't get them off the phone.
No, I went downstairs. I was like, who talked to an old lady about a dancing baby? And one of the guys down there was like, I did. She called you? I was like, yeah. She's like, yeah, I knew you would. He was totally trolling me. Totally trolling me.
Before it was cool.
Before it was cool, yeah. And I had all sorts of calls like that. Cup holder, not the CD-ROM.
Did you ever have
my computer's not working because the power's out. All those.
Sorry, I can't talk over you. That's
another
right. Feedback. Did you ever have that screensaver? I think it's the greatest one ever. Johnny Castaway, when the little guy was on the island and he would walk around it all day.
No, but I did recently show my kids hamster dance.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, hamster dance. I did.
Oh, terrible.
I showed them that.
You need to look that up. That was the greatest screensaver ever because Johnny Castaway. Johnny Castaway. And it would literally go 365 days a year, and they would have the holidays on the island. He would do all kinds of stuff. He was always building a raft. He got rescued one time, and he swam out to the boat, and then he got wasted on the boat, and then he ended up swimming back to the island. It's hilarious.
I'm ashamed to say that I've never seen this. I'm looking at screen caps now.
It's amazing.
Oh, my God. You can get it for Windows 10, apparently. They have an updated version.
Oh, my God. It's the best thing I've ever seen. We had it at a work computer that no one ever used, and it just ran the screensaver all day. And people would always be stopping by looking at it.
Oh, my God.
Well, I mean, That's hilarious. It's what, 3 megabytes? I don't know. Maybe not even that.
Probably fits on a floppy, man. Less than 1.44.
Let's talk about Conor fucking McGregor.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. So breaking news for those who don't know, and when I say breaking news, it means this happened probably a day ago because of how long it takes me to edit these together. So as far as I can tell, the story is as follows, and Brian, you can correct me here as I go, but I'm looking at the Twitter feed, which is where I've got all this together. So in short, Conor's got a guy from his team fighting at UFC 223.
Artem Lobov, who has a super salty record.
Okay.
At 13 wins, 14 losses.
Right. So this guy is fighting, and I guess Khabib's crew talked some shit, and Conor sitting in his house.
Artem went after Khabib and started talking shit.
Okay.
That's what happened. And Khabib was like, I'm not even worried about you. I'm fighting for the title.
So at some point or another, though, Conor felt disrespected, got on a plane with his boys in Ireland, flew to New York, got off the plane. This is a private jet. Got off the private jet, drove down to the Barclays Center, and attacked a bus.
Well, hold on. So they were let in because the Mac Life guys were inside and they were recording. And so Conor called them, and they went and opened the door and let in like 20 hooligans.
20 hooligans roll in, and the footage, which you can easily find online right now, is Conor McGregor chucking a hand truck, a dolly, through a window of a bus, apparently picking up one of those metal barricades, picking one of those up through the bus. Michael Chiesa is injured with
pretty
glass.
Bad.
Yeah, cuts. He's going to compete anyway.
I don't know if he'll compete. I bet he doesn't get to compete. He has a cut on his face and on his head.
I'm looking at
are they updating it?
25 seconds ago that says
wow.
to compete at UFC 223 to bite multiple cuts from Conor McGregor incident. There's apparently a warrant out for the arrest of Conor if he's not already arrested.
Dude, he jumped on that private jet and he's gonzo.
When Lobov is kicked off the card.
He is?
Yeah. At least one fighter will not be able to fight this weekend. Oh, because they're saying injuries.
Yes, somebody else got a broken hand from probably deflecting something, was throwing trash, the trash cans. It's the most insane thing I've ever seen.
It's insane. So you're sitting at home and your cell phone vibrates and you look at it and it's your buddy and he calls you up and you say, yo man, what's up? And he says, look, I need you to go down to the airport right now. We're getting on a plane. We're flying to New York. And we're going to start some shit. I guess the opposite way. We're getting on a plane. We're going to Dublin. And we need to take care of business. Are you jumping on that plane?
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, me too. For sure.
But I mean, I'm not going to act like a fucking idiot like this.
Well,
there's a difference between handling business and just being an absolute fucking clown. Dude, he's going to get in so much shit for this.
Oh my God. So here's my favorite tweet that I've seen so far regarding the situation. It's from good old Nate Diaz. And you're from Kansas. You live in Texas. I know you lived in Arizona, but there is just something that you don't understand about people from Stockton. Stockton, which is about an hour.
Gangster.
It's about an hour south of Sacramento, where I live. Stockton, for a long time, was the car theft capital of the world per capita. It's a shipping town. They have docks. The most notable thing that happens in Stockton every year is the Asparagus Festival. It's a different level of crazy.
Well, here's what it's like. It's like it's like a blue collar town like Pittsburgh or something, but gangster.
But smaller. Yeah, but smaller
Right.
and gangster. So, and there's a couple of towns sort of in the area. There's Stockton, there's Modesto, there's Turlock. These Central Valley farm towns that are very, the voting population is very, very conservative and white, but the population itself is very diverse. So it's a really weird, kind of odd place. It's not much more than a truck stop going from Sacramento down Highway 5 to L.A.
What did he say in his tweet?
He said, this is Nate Diaz talking about Conor. Conor McGregor, shouldn't have been trying to... I'm sorry, this might be about Khabib. He says he shouldn't have been trying to punk his boy when he was alone like a bully. Then he expects not to get rolled on, fucking rookie, and then stay on the bus. Ha ha, you guys got punked.
Nice.
So Nate Diaz calling out Khabib.
I do appreciate that because that is true. So the Khabib's team rolls deep. They always roll deep. But let's not mistake this. Khabib is not afraid of either one of those guys.
And so the rumor is that Khabib and his guys attacked Conor's friend when he was alone. So that's
very
the thing
doubtful.
That's the thing that people are saying started this. Is Conor got a call that his buddy got jumped by Khabib and his boys, and so Conor and his boys jumped on a plane and said, "We're going to resolve this."
I think Nick Diaz punched Khabib in the face. They got in a fight one time with it was Nick and Nate and their whole Stockton crew, and they got in a fight with Khabib's crew after one of the fights or something like that. So I didn't see the altercation, of course, but it very well could have been. They could have tried to punk Artem.
I don't know. It's just craziness that a guy worth $100 million shows up, starts chucking things through bus windows.
He's just gonna get sued.
Oh, he's gonna get sued all over the place. He's a worldwide trend. He might be the number one worldwide trend right now on Twitter.
Oh, guarantee he is. Look that up.
Yeah, the headline: Conor McGregor attacks UFC 223 fighters bus hunting for Khabib. Apparently the New York PD is investigating, but there's not I haven't seen a definitive he's been arrested. His plane was apparently grounded, not allowed to leave. Dana White was shocked by, quote, his disgusting criminal act. I don't know if he's on drugs, end quote. It's some crazy shit. Does this make you want to watch UFC 223 more or less?
Well, hold on a second.
Because I was already a little pissed off about Tony.
No, I'm excited for Max to step off. I'm not a fan of Tony's, but look at this. Chase Sherman, UFC heavyweight, Vanilla Gorilla. Shout out to that guy. He posted a picture of Khabib and Conor posing together in a picture and says, "This is number one bullshit." That's what Khabib says. And then Front Row Brian, who's here in Austin, he says, "I'm calling number one bullshit. A fucking warrant out for someone's arrest for throwing a fucking dolly. What if the property owner isn't pressing charges? This is a storyline." And so...
You think this is WWE-style storyline to get a Khabib-Conor fight? This is Dana calling up Conor and saying, whoever wins this fight, you fight him next.
Right. You kind of mentioned that. And so imagine if this is a total work. I mean, yeah, it looks like it got a little bit out of hand. But the security guards aren't really trying to stop it. And you're attacking a bus full of fighters. And they're rolling with their trainers, and everyone can fight on those buses. It just seems a bit weird because that's so crazy. Like, for him to do that, he could lose everything.
Yeah, well, yeah, but he's fighters are fighters. Fighters do crazy shit. So according to TMZ Sports, as of right now, Conor McGregor warrant issued for his arrest, says Dana White, not the NYPD. And an update as of, that's just 2 hours ago. Law enforcement sources tell us that NYPD is looking for Conor McGregor. We're also told detectives are currently interviewing people who are on the scene. So the police are at least involved.
No. Don't believe it one bit. Here you go. Brennan Schaub just said this from Below the Belt Twitter. Love or hate Conor McGregor's antics outside the cage, everything he does is calculated, and he's just set the table for the biggest fight in UFC history. Ireland versus Russia. Conor versus Khabib. Let the madness begin. Think about it.
Well, yeah, assuming
about it.
Assuming any of this is a work. Because if this is all a shoot, if this is just craziness, that fight's never going to happen. But if this is a work, if this is all made up, if this is all promotion, oh man, it's going to be...
It's amazing.
And they were talking about Conor Khabib in Russia.
Well, there's police officers at the... Yeah, I know. But there's police officers at the UFC place. Or at the Barclay. So why didn't they get arrested? That isn't... Right?
Well, he ran. That's not a logical argument in my opinion. He either ran. If this is a shoot, if this is all on the up and up, and
it's amazing.
It's amazing. It's craziness. I think this actually creates more pay-per-view buys for UFC 223 just to see what happens. I think people are going to be disappointed because it's just going to be fighting. It's going to be bringing those casual chaos fans who just want to see some crazy shit.
Right, they want to see the car crash in NASCAR.
Yeah, unless Conor rushes the cage or some crazy shit, pops out of the crowd, WWF style. WWE. Wow, I just time traveled 25
10 years?
No, it's it's been WWE for since 2003 or something like that. It's been a long time. I just time traveled in my mind, which is terrible on WrestleMania weekend. And we're not even going to talk about WrestleMania, which is kind of sad to me since it's...
We could talk about it next week.
Maybe we can. We can recap.
After we watch it. I'll watch it for sure.
Oh, all right. Well, I'll give you my access to WWE Network so you can watch it for free. Or you can just
I already have it.
Oh, yeah. Then watch it, you piece of shit.
All right. Sorry, sir.
Yeah.
So let's talk about UFC 223.
Well, yeah, we're already there. No need for a segue.
Nice little segue there.
Yeah, Conor jumps in the cage as soon as Khabib chokes the fuck out of what's-his-face.
He's not going to choke him. He's going to beat the piss out of him. So I was watching all this stuff. I've been doing a lot of research on this, and it's basically like Daniel Cormier and Khabib go at it. They go to war in the gym.
Right.
And then they're talking about it, and Khabib's like, I won 2-1. He went and wrestled with him in Dagestan. Khabib actually beat Cormier in a wrestling match. He's a heavyweight.
No, I don't believe that for a second. That sounds like bullshit to me.
I don't know. Well, I do know this. Who's the Penn State guy that he trains with?
I was gonna make a
Ruth. What's his name?
Rude joke, but I'm gonna not.
Ed Ruth. So Ed Ruth, when it was a 42-0 record against conference foes, dude, he's a total stud from Penn State. And Khabib kicked his ass.
Sure.
But not in a fight, in a wrestling match.
Yeah, well, there's those Dagestani wrestlers. That's their way out, right? That is the way out of poverty and despair, is athletics, specifically wrestling. So it makes sense that he is passionate, and he probably wrestles in a way that Americans don't, which is reckless and nothing to lose, which not reckless as in not technical. He's an incredibly technical wrestler, but...
Yeah, but you're talking about a 3-time NCAA D1 wrestling champion.
Yeah.
2012, 13, and 14. This is a young buck. This guy's not very old. He's 27.
Well, yeah.
4-time All-American, 4-time Big Ten.
That's translated well for the most part in the UFC. Look at Brock Lesnar, right? NCAA heavyweight champion.
No. This is a wrestling match. This was straight up college
I know that.
wrestling.
What I'm saying is that there are styles, right? There's an American style of wrestling, and then apparently this Dagestani style of wrestling matches up really well to the American style. And so I'm not saying Khabib's not a badass. He's a total badass. And I'm not saying that this kid from Penn State's not a badass. I'm sure he is. I don't know who he is, so I can't vouch for that one way or the other. I'm just saying that
he only lost twice in his college collar career.
Yeah, it's all about matchups.
You're telling me in all those wrestling matches that he didn't find someone that was Billy Badass? That's what I'm saying.
No, I'm saying Khabib's not immortal. I'm saying he's probably a very good wrestler, and when you match up with certain guys, you're gonna have advantages or disadvantages, and that him beating one person or two people doesn't tell me that he's the greatest wrestler who ever did wrestle, only that he's very, very good. That's what I'm saying.
Fair.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not saying he's not good. I'm saying I'm not even saying he might be the greatest wrestler that ever did wrestle. I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
I'm no shame.
So you're
in saying
picking
I don't
Khabib
know.
in this? You're picking
Yeah.
Khabib?
Yeah.
I'm
of course.
not getting honey dicked. There's no fucking chance you're honey dicking me and telling me that Max Holloway's gonna win.
No, Max
This
Holloway's. He wasn't.
is-
He's an alternative choice. He's not even the number one choice.
No, he's not. He's a fucking stud, but stay in your swim lane. You're a 145er. You're going to get a horrible beating. It's going to be terrible.
Yeah, I think
And we're going to watch it, and we're going to be like, God damn, I wish they would stop this.
Well, that was the Barboza fight. I just kept going, stop, make it stop, make it.
Michael
he just
Johnson?
keeps punching him in the face. Make it stop.
Michael
Yeah.
Johnson, he had him on the ground, and he was beating him so bad. That's the worst beating I've ever seen.
Yeah, just
Next
make it
to
stop.
Joe Lazon versus Gabe Rudiger, which was horrible. He like picked the guy up over his head and slammed him on the ground, and then just kept whooping him.
Yeah,
But Michael Johnson didn't tap. So we got Khabib, Rose Namajunas versus Joanna.
Who are you taking in that Rose fight?
I think Joanna kicks her butt this time. I think
You
she
think
got
so?
lucky. Yep.
You think she got lucky?
Yep, I do. Well, I think it's a combination of things. So Joanna is used to having her way. She used to psyching people out before they get to the cage. And so when she got there and she realized the girl wasn't afraid of her, that kind of threw her off. I think she very much underestimated Rose's striking game. I mean, her husband, I don't know, are they married? Husband, boyfriend, Pat Barry, he's a total stud. So, I don't know. I don't know.
Joanna's, not Rose. Rose's boyfriend, he's actually fighting. I don't know if you know this, but he's fighting too. And he trains. Did you listen to the JRE podcast with Rose and her boyfriend?
Pat Barry, yeah.
Yeah, so that guy, that whole podcast I kept yelling at my car stereo, because that's where I was listening to it, was he kept saying we. Like, so we won the championship, and
Well, he's meaning the team, but it's not really the team, it's the person.
yeah, but he kept, we're our diet, our training methods are, and she would
Talking
go to
about
talk.
the team.
Yeah, but she would say, Joe would ask her, what kind of training regimen do you like to do? What's your favorite thing to do? And then she would go, well, I like, and he would just jump on top of her, say, well, we like to run a lot, and we like to do these things, and it's really important for us. And he was trying to ask her, and he kept answering for her. Right? Half that interview is him talking for her. It was mad.
Hang on. You suck at telling stories. Here, let me take over. Right.
It was brutal.
So who do you think's gonna win? What are your thoughts? You think Rose has got it, or you think Joanna's got it?
I like Rose because Rose is she's technically proficient, but kind of a wild person like John Jones is. She's gonna throw. She will know what she's going to do more in the moment than any game plan beforehand. I'm not saying she doesn't game plan. I'm sure she does, but when she gets in there, she's gonna feel it and try to get crazy. And Joanna's a technical fighter. I think Joanna's incredibly good. I'm looking at the Vegas odds right now.
What's the odds?
Joanna's at -115. Rose is
it's even money.
Basically even money. Yeah, Rose is at +105.
What's the odds on Khabib versus Max?
Oh Jesus, Khabib
It's gotta be horrible.
-470 on Khabib. Max Holloway's +375. Man, that's almost worth a lucky punch bet.
You heard what he said. Did you watch the press conference? He goes, "What are you gonna do? You're gonna go in there and hope for a lucky punch?" He goes, "There ain't gonna be no lucky punch."
Well,
He's like, "I'm taking you down and smashing you."
That's what you get. The one lucky punch. So Max Holloway at 375. I'll take that $100 bet, that Holly Holm money.
Oh yeah, you're welcome for that.
Yeah. The kick that. Speaking of
Remember
which,
we watched that? We looked. They had the curtains pulled down, and we were bending down, looking underneath people's legs to see the ending finish, and she got kicked right in the head.
Standing in a Vegas hallway because we didn't want to pay the $50 cover to get into that bar because the fight was already half over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was half over because it just started.
Yeah. Oh, brutal head kick. Ronda's wrestling at WrestleMania on Saturday, and
How's she doing? Is she doing good?
Sure, her mic work is really poor. She's not good on the mic yet, which is one of the hardest things to do. But her in-ring work so far, which has been really limited,
right?
It looks okay.
She's transitioning, right? She's an athlete. She'll do well at it. I hope she does well.
Yeah, so she's working with Kurt Angle, and Kurt Angle looks old and slow right now, but Kurt Angle has been the best overall professional not professional, I guess amateur athlete who transitioned into professional wrestling. He transitioned almost.
He was a
seamlessly.
professional athlete. He's a gold medalist.
Yeah, but he wasn't paid. That's what I mean by professional.
Oh,
Yeah, so Olympic gold medalist who won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck, as his character likes to say. But he was one of the best quality natural in-ring technicians I ever saw in WWE. And
nice.
Ronda, I think, has that potential. She's got to get good. The good thing about her skill level in regards to women's wrestling, and women's wrestling has gotten a whole hell of a lot better in the last 5 years. And there's some really, really good names out there who are doing a lot of fun, interesting matches, Charlotte Flair and Sasha Banks and whatnot. But once you get kind of past those top tier girls, you get to those mid card girls. It's
kind of sad.
My biggest beef with it is that there are wrestlers who are known for working stiff. So Mick Foley talked about in his book a lot about getting busted open the easy way and the hard way. The easy way was a razor blade to your forehead. That's when you bleed, and the hard way was punch me in my eyebrow until you split it open.
Ouch.
And yeah, so wrestling for guys, which is, it's been going on in a more mainstream format for a lot longer. They're willing to punch each other, and there's guys who are notoriously stiff, and there are certainly girls who are getting more stiff when it comes to in-ring work, but a lot of it's still. The misses are bigger, if that makes sense. They swing their hand and they miss by 6 inches instead of
because they don't want to hit each other. Because let's face it, they're all pretty.
Well, they are all pretty, but that's. I think that's beside the point. I think it's just a comfort in getting hit and hitting each other. Not that. And what's interesting about that to me is it's that little work that I think is lacking, because the big work, the big high risk moves, the all slams, all power bombs, they take bumps. Fantastic. Their in-ring work is beautiful to watch. It's the little stuff that bugs me, and it's watching a 110-pound girl try to bounce off the ropes and they don't move
because the ropes are so stiff.
Yeah, that always bugs me. So there's not a lot that I can do. So I'm really impressed with all the WWE caliber female performers right now are fucking fantastic. It's so good, but you get below that and it's not. And so I think Ronda has the ability to step in and become. When she really gets trained up and gets her mic work good, I think she's going to be a compelling and fun character. Not that was on our list of 7-ish things to talk about.
It was not. So let's talk about Anthony Pettis versus Michael Chiesa. So one, is he going to fight? If he fights, I think it's going to be a problem. Because if he's already been cut, depending upon where the cut's at, and Anthony Pettis is pretty dope.
Well, and Anthony Pettis was an underdog. It was Chiesa at -135, Pettis at +115, so it was near even money, but not quite. And I gotta think that if Chiesa's, I see two things. If he's cut, particularly if he's cut on his face, that's going to be a problem. But
they put super glue on. I mean, it depends on how it goes, right? They put super glue on it, and then they'll put makeup on it to hide it.
Yeah, so there's that, and. I don't know. I can also see that incident motivating him in a weird way, getting his juices up, and he goes out there and just wants to stomp Pettis.
All right, we skipped one. Renato Scenario versus Calvin Kattar. I got Calvin Kattar on that one.
Yeah, he's a killer.
He hits hard.
Yeah, Vegas favorite, hits hard. I'm with you on that one. There's no argument to be made there.
All right, I'm gonna root for Chiesa, even though I don't think he's gonna end up fighting, which is super sad for him.
I think if Chiesa fights, I have to root for him. He got
I know.
Fork or a hand truck, a dolly thrown at his dome, window shattered in his face, and he goes out there and fights. How can you not?
I tell you right now, if he's on the same card as Conor ever in the future, if I'm him, I'm sucker punching Conor hard.
Just
I hit him.
the hallway,
I just
right
no. Like when we're all sitting there taking the at the press conference, I'm just sneaking up behind him and just fucking club punch him. Not just in the side of the head. Just letting him know, like, that's for throwing that hand truck at me, bitch. I mean, that's shitty, right?
Yeah.
He meant to hit Khabib or something like that, or I don't know. That's insanity, but whatever, dude. You get ran up on, fine. So Carolina Kalakowicz versus, Alaquinta versus Paul Felder. That's going to be a banger.
It's even. It's basically
even money
bet. Even money bet. Yeah. I don't know, man.
I'll take Alaquinta.
I've seen them both fight, and I'm going to take Alaquinta as well. I don't know. That's a fight I don't know enough about those two guys. I've seen them both fight. They're both entertaining.
Pretty even records, yeah.
Yeah.
Carolina Kalkowitz versus Felicia Herring. So pinning that Felicia doesn't pop for roids again. She's popped like twice, I think. And then her last opponent shit her pants. Remember that?
Yeah. That's what she's famous for, unfortunately.
She just got the fuck up and ran out of there.
Yep. So Carolina's minus 185.
I got Carolina. She's cool. I like her.
Yeah, I would
she fought Joanna, and she should have won.
Yeah. That's.
I thought like she won.
I think there's a lot of those Joanna fights where you go back and you go, man, this could have been one punch away from the other way.
Well, they fought twice. Or no. No, she fought her once. She lost to Claudia Gadeja, who's just a little tank. I mean, that girl's just
Who do you got
so
in
powerful.
the Caceres versus Lobov fight? Oh, that one's not happening. Sorry.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure, man.
Dude, Bruce Leroy. I got to take Artem. He started all this shit. I got to root for him since he started it.
Well, if he fights, which I don't think he is, according to the Twitterverse, Conor.
Why would he not fight?
Because he started all this shit by Conor coming to his aid. So,
yeah, I mean, if he shot the flare up, that is his fault.
Yeah, he's the one who. That's a apt description. He shot the flare up. So it was Khabib and Artem in an altercation at Fighters Hotel, is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So the rumor is that Khabib laid hands on Artem at the hotel, which there is video of the post confrontation there, and then Artem calls up Craig. Either Conor found out about it or Artem called up Conor.
Oh, that's where he's got the hand on the back of his head. He's just probably telling him, he's like, don't be a bitch. Oh, they're getting into it. I'm watching this. We got to post a link to this.
I will. I'll post links to all the video shit that we find. Yeah, you're seeing that still of Khabib hand on the back of the neck of Lobov.
That's not Lobov. Doesn't look like it.
And Dana White just told reporters here in NYC that Artem Lobov is off the UFC 223 card on Saturday. So
yeah,
that's the rumor. No Lobov fight. So Vegas odds.
I mean, he's got, like, dude, his whole team is there. Yeah, that's kind of shitty.
Yeah.
And he's got his hand on the back of his head. Yeah, he's got him held up. But there's at least, I don't know, 7 of them, 8 of them. And, so, they're all studs.
What's the craziest thing that happens during this pay-per-view? Is it
Conor McGregor comes, like, somehow the dome opens up and he comes floating in like in a parachute, like that one boxing match.
And he lands in the ring and just starts in the octagon and starts wailing on Khabib.
No, when that guy got the shit beat out of him, but I think the boxers fucked him up.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. If that's the craziest thing that happens. I don't think anything crazy is going to happen, but
no, I think it'll be a solid fight. I hope it's good. I want 3 to 5 rounds.
Yeah, I do too. I want to see. Well, I don't think it's going to go that long unless Khabib just sits on him. He might.
He will.
I think
he's going to make a point.
Yeah, I think the fight that I'm most looking forward to is the Rose fight. I want to see Rose come out and shut down Joanna. I'm all Rose in that fight. Thug Rose. I want to hear DC yell.
You want to hear DC yell Thug Rose? Yeah.
I do.
I don't know. I hope she wins. I have a feeling that Joanna's going to come back and take her out.
I don't know, man.
I think she trained this time seriously.
Seriously.
What about taking constructive criticism?
Oh, okay. So, in our last recording, you reached out for some constructive criticism, and we got some good feedback.
We always want that from everybody.
Yeah, I love good feedback. And one of those pieces of feedback was that I actually managed to put Transform Fitness, or Transforms Fitness instead of Transform Fitness on the typing. So I'll fix that. Look out for typos.
Who told you that one? Shout out to that person.
Leanne, she caught it. Good eyes. She's watching the YouTube stream on a big screen television, which is why it was so glaringly obvious. So the other one, two pieces. One I liked, one I didn't, which is one was I'm not allowed to say my jam anymore. I think I said it 3 times in the last podcast. So
well, you just said it once, so I think you're good.
Yeah, that's in reference to not using it colloquially. So I will not use that phrase to the best of my ability to prevent myself from doing so. But sometimes in the moment, you can't help but say it. The other piece was just a
you can.
Yeah. So the other bit of advice, which has nothing to do with the podcast, and was most likely a fair bit of trolling on the part of whomever gave you the criticism, was to say, don't get talked into voting. That's you, Ryan. Don't get talked into voting because voting is a scam. And you sent me that feedback, and I lost my shit. Prior to this becoming a fight.
This is not a political podcast.
Not anymore. Used to be. It used to be, and politics is a passion of mine. So I wanted to at least address that. Now, you're from Kansas, right?
Brad will battle you.
Brad can battle me all he wants, but you're from Kansas, right? Yes.
I'm telling you, you guys are equally matched. Both of you think that you have a leg up on the other one. No. It would be a horribly boring. I mean, if you guys typed it out on Facebook, it would just be like pages and pages of just comments back and forth.
Yeah, but I don't get to do that anymore because one person in particular didn't like being corrected by me a lot. And I, to be fair, hey, if, you want to...
All right, hold on, go back. People. You said I'm from Kansas. That has nothing to do with this, but fine.
You are from Kansas, right? So here's some quick... I just want to, for a second, address the importance of voting. I know it's not a political podcast, and this isn't it's important to vote for this person versus that person, just the act itself. So here's some quick stats for you.
I'm still not doing it.
Yeah, in Kansas, 2016, the presidential election, okay? The total number of eligible voters in 2016 in Kansas was about 2.2 million people. That's people over the age of 18 who have a legal right to vote, okay?
Right.
The legal result, the election results were, unsurprisingly, it's Kansas after all, in favor of Trump. And again, this isn't about who I think you should have voted for or that you shouldn't have voted for this person instead of that person, but only why voting is important. So,
all right, only why it's important. Keep going.
So Trump got 671,000 votes. Hillary got about 427,000. So if you add that up, it's about 1.1 million votes, or roughly slightly less than 50% of the eligible electorate. So half the people who could have voted didn't vote. Half the people in Kansas basically said, fuck it. They're both terrible. They're not worth it. Voting is a scam, etc. Or just, oh, wait, that was today? My bad.
Or I don't want to vote for a turd sandwich or a giant douchebag.
Right. They just said, fuck it. Sure. Okay. But here's where it gets kind of interesting.
I hope this goes quick.
It does. The demographic split by age in Kansas is that people 45 plus, that means people over 45 years old, equals 55 to 65% of the total electorate, or about 650,000 voters total in Kansas. That means if you're under 40, so those people vote a lot. The vast majority of people voting in that Kansas election, that 1.1 million, were over 45 years old. So if you're 18 to 45, let's say you're 30-something, as you are.
So you're telling me that we don't want a bunch of old people voting and
yeah, I'm saying
getting their way, whatever.
I'm saying that means if you're under 40 in Kansas, you're giving your governance to people who learned to drive in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. People who lusted after the Golden Girls when they were bronze. That's what I'm saying. You're letting people who didn't have the internet, CDs, tapes, microwave ovens in their house, and if they did have a microwave oven, they had to use one of those weird little wind-up platform things that spun their food. Those are the people writing your laws. You're letting people who had to walk through the woods and hope to find some discarded Playboy from the perv who left it there to jerk off the night before. Or, if shit was fancy, go down to the porn store, put a quarter in the machine, and jerk their shit in under 10 minutes to either some real-life naked lady behind glass or like a film where the lady's Jungle Bush was the co-star and the guy had like an unironic Burt Reynolds mustache before fucking Burt Reynolds ever did. Those are the people making your laws. And for our listeners out there, our 13 and a half listeners, and if you're saying to yourself, who is Burt Reynolds? Well then, sir or madam, that's why you need to vote, because your government is being decided by people who know who the fuck Burt Reynolds is and don't give a shit that you don't like James Taylor, because that smooth, mellow, soulful voice of his soothes the savagery of the modern world. That's who's making your laws. You think those people understand net neutrality? They can't program a VCR, and we stopped manufacturing those 25 fucking years ago. You think the people voting understand world economics and what it's like to manufacture a drone in Shenzhen, China? These are the same people who think any food from any Asian country is Chinese food. My grandma, when she was still alive, I'm going out for Malaysian food. Asian food? No, Malaysian food, grandma. Asian food, like Chinese food. No. And for that matter, pad thai's not Chinese either. And So what I'm saying is, no, we don't need those people to decide things anymore. 25 years ago, no one had smartphones, no one had Blu-ray, no one had YouTube, no one had Pornhub, no one had IMDb.com. Basically, no one had laptops, which means it was really fucking easy for me to find a plug at the airport to plug mine in because I was the only person who was traveling with one. My point is
All
that
right,
voting.
mic drop.
Yeah, my point is that voting. Here's a quote by a guy, Noah Webster. If the citizens neglect their duty and place unprincipled men in office, the government will soon be corrupted. Laws will be made not for the public good so much as for selfish or local purposes. Corrupt or incompetent men will be appointed to execute the laws. The public revenues will be squandered on unworthy men, and the rights of citizens will be violated or disregarded. And if you're thinking to yourself, who is Noah Webster? Dude, he was born in 1758. He worked for Alexander Hamilton.
Webster Dictionary.
And he probably voted for fucking Trump in the election along with the other 250-year-olds in the state. So, look, last but not least on this particular soapbox.
Dude, we have 4 listeners now.
I know.
Cut it out.
If you're saying to yourself, but Merlin, who cares? Politics is corrupt. All the candidates suck. There's no fucking point. I say this unto you, annoying, anonymous internet person. In the United States, in the last 100 years, there have been several elections decided by a single vote, one vote. But more interesting is this. In Austria, 5 years ago, in an election for their state legislator, a vote was decided by a single ballot, and, along with the vote on the ballot, the person drew a picture of a gigantic penis.
Yes,
So one side
yes.
of the ballot, a check mark for this guy, and on the other side of the ballot, a penis. Just a mighty, mighty dick. And that is the ultimate protest vote. So here's my choice, and for the rest of you, here's a dong, as drawn in the style of Michelangelo himself, the Lord reaching down from the clouds to lay one divine finger upon thine head. So please vote.
Nice.
And if you're one of those stupid fucking people who uses that tired, weak-ass argument that if I don't vote, none of it is my fault, well...
No, if you don't vote, you just can't bitch about it.
Inaction is action. Yes. You by doing nothing, you are doing something. So if you want to willingly give up one right, then don't get mad when people try to take
is
the
this
rest
some
away
kind of
too.
like
That's it.
the only,
That's all
the
I've
only
got.
way that evil can prevail is when good men fail to act?
Yeah, good men fail to act. Exactly right.
All right,
That's
let's
that's
talk
my
about
voting rant. It really pissed me off.
I bet it did. All right, I'm just going to smooth right over the top of that, and let's talk about Bill and Ted 3.
And other
needed sequel. So
Yeah,
I'm going to
so-
start off with another needed sequel that I think would be super dope.
All right, later on.
Obviously, we need a Big Trouble in Little China 2. The return
they've-
of Jack. The return of Jack Burton. And don't
They've
give me no
talked about
shit
that.
about the fucking Rock in there.
Yeah, they've talked about that. The Rock was going to do a remake of Big Trouble in Little China.
Until Kurt Russell called him up and he's like, Dwayne Johnson, and he goes, good fucking luck playing Jack Burton, and then hung up on him.
Is that a true story? Because that would be.
Yes.
It feels true. It feels accurate. It feels truthy.
I could find it somewhere. He said, good fucking luck.
Good fucking luck. Yeah, I don't know. I'd watch a remake of Big Trouble. So my biggest beef with remakes, honestly, is they're too pretty. Big Trouble in Little China, unless you have a big weird styrofoam monster coming out of the hole, and a handful.
Yeah, it's gritty. It's a gritty movie.
Yeah, and a handful of souvenir plastic gems being thrown at it.
Oh, that's so funny.
It feels too pretty. They feel too.
What will never come back again? What the hell?
Yeah, exactly. You will come back. Yeah, that stuff, that goofiness, I think gets lost, and they don't make movies with that.
It's that magic.
Yeah, I think it's they were making movies at a time where they thought they were fooling the audience, and now if you made that same exact movie, it would have to be parody because people would say this is stupid. But I think that there's still an audience for that sort of nostalgia filmmaking of fun, action-y movies from the 80s.
Right.
That's just that's my opinion. So I think a sequel to Big Trouble in Little China with Jack Burton coming back as made by whoever, is that a John Carpenter movie?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, as made by John Carpenter or in that style, I think could be fun. I'm really
You
excited.
have to have the normal characters. The whole thing about Jack Burton is that he talks big, he acts big. I mean, he can't really fight, right? He gets in the one fight with the thing, and it's like the first time he ever pops someone, he shoots the guy on accident, trying to figure out how the gun works. So you can't have The Rock play that character. The Rock could kick some ass.
Yeah, Jack Burton, he's an everyman action hero, and that's the same
Right.
character that he played in Tango and Cash, and I'd love a sequel to that too.
Oh, Yes.
I would. I would love a Tango and Cash sequel. What are they doing now? Can bring Terry Hatcher back too. Sure, as the sister. Why not?
Yep.
Did you see that they're remaking Overboard?
I love that movie.
So they've remade it. It's coming out soon. It's with the girl from the first Scary Movie movies.
Drew Barrymore?
No, not Scream. The
Oh,
parodies.
whoops.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that blonde girl. So she plays a carpet cleaner or something like that cleans the carpet of this guy.
So it's like a reverse?
Yeah, they've gender swapped it, and he's.
That's a hard pass.
Well, I think that's the only way you could make that movie now, because otherwise, you go back and watch that movie, it feels a little rapey and kidnappy, and that's funny now. If
No,
you do
it's not like that. No. It's kidnappy for sure.
Kidnapping.
Okay, well, hold on.
It's not
So
rapey, except for the fact that they fall in love, and he does start sleeping with her before she has any idea of who she is. So
No, but they completely fall in love, so that's okay. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Now, you remember the yacht that they had?
Yeah.
This is a true story. So I think I'm 18 years old. I'm walking with my mother, my mom, my dad, my brother, and we're in Jamaica, and we just got done doing some kind of excursion. I don't know, snorkeling or something. And we're on the docks, and my mom, we're talking about movie stars. She's like the one movie star that really, I would love to see and would starstruck me would be, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. Goldie Hawn.
Okay.
And I'm like, dude, Kurt Russell. I think Kurt Russell's a total stud. I'd love to meet him. As we're talking there, they walk right between my family, and they get immediately, like, they go, we just froze for a moment, and I looked at my mom, she looked at me, and then we go to turn around, and they had just went right on that yacht, the same yacht from the movie.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I was just like, I couldn't even believe that. I was like,
Yeah. Kurt Russell's one of my favorite actor stories, because he's, besides the fact that he was a Disney child actor going all the way back 30 or 40 years, he was nearly a professional baseball player.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a fun story. So going back to on topic here, Big Trouble in Little China, a sequel would be fun.
What do you think about this Bill and Ted 3?
So I'm super stoked about that. I watched the EW video clip. So they've been talking. I've been following along with the Bill and Ted 3 story for 20 years. They've been talking about it forever.
You like the second one a lot? I love the first one.
I love the first one, but I do love the second one a lot. And Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves have been friends all this time. Alex Winter's been making commercials, so he runs campaigns for big companies, Reebok and things like that.
Right.
And his production companies, he's really successful. He's just not an on-camera actor anymore. So they've been talking about doing this forever, and the plot, apparently, of this Bill and Ted 3 that they've talked about is that they're now 50, and they were expecting to have written the music that saves the world, and they haven't written that song yet.
Well, that was supposed to... Oh, the song at the end time.
Yeah, the one that saves the world, basically.
Right.
And so things are modern. They're 50. They're superstars, but they're not world saviors, and they're feeling the pressure of having not fulfilled their destiny.
Nice.
Yeah, so I would like to see it. I think it would be fun.
I think it'd be excellent. I want it to be, like you said, in the same lighthearted, not silly, but the same type of like how Big Trouble in Little China was created, like kind of like in that same magic. I think it'd be fantastic.
Maybe.
They should film it kind of like, I don't know, maybe they can do something with some kind of filter to make it to look more like that. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't have to.
There's a sequel that is coming out that I don't know if everybody knows is coming out, is that they're put M. Night Shyamalan next year. No, is putting out a sequel to, there was, what was the superhero one with, you know what I'm talking
Unbreakable.
about? Unbreakable, thank you. So there was Unbreakable, and then last year M. Night did a movie called Split, and in the very end of Split, they actually referenced the characters from Unbreakable. So there's a third movie that's now a trilogy called Glass coming out in 2019.
That's
back
Mr. Glass.
All the characters. So Bruce
remember
Willis,
when
Samuel
he falls
L.
down the stairs and he just like, it's just horrible.
Yeah. So that's coming out next year. I'm reasonably stoked about that, because I think that's going back to the movies
that could be good.
That M. Night was good at. I think him doing other weird stuff isn't great.
Speaking of 20-year sequel in the making, do you think Ghostbusters 3 is really going to come out?
I don't know. Ghostbusters. So this is a sensitive topic for me, and I've gotten into some knockdown arguments regarding the recent Ghostbusters about how annoyed I was with that movie. I thought the movie
It was okay.
really good. Was really good. I liked it. I liked the cast. I thought the actors that they got to play the four Ghostbusters was hilarious. I really liked.
But they made all the men were stupid in the movie.
That didn't bug me. What bugged me about the movie, I liked the movie. That's the first thing I want to say definitively in the front. I liked that film. What bugged me about it was that it didn't need to be a remake or a reboot. It could have been a sequel, and I would have liked it even more. So the difference between that movie being a reboot and that movie being a sequel is one line. One line where one of those Kristen Wiig's characters says something like, "My Uncle Egon, fill in the blank. He didn't know what he was doing. I made his shit better." Then it's a sequel, and I'm perfectly pleased with it. It's a continuation of the original story of the original canon. The fact that they did not do that and they decided to just, no, it's an all new remake. None of that other stuff happened. That bugged me. And it particularly in a world where cinematic universes are important, with the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the DC Cinematic Universe, the Disney Cinematic Universe, they all cross over. So the decision to say that this is a remake and this has nothing to do with the previous timeline or everything that happened, even Star Trek, who was absolutely doing a reboot, stayed true to the timeline by saying all of that stuff absolutely happened, but we've altered through a mechanism the timeline. So that stuff still exists. It's still canon.
That's a good way to do that.
Yeah. So with Ghostbusters, they just said none of that's canon. We're rebooting it. So you can't go back and make a Ghostbusters 3 because you've just rebooted the series.
Did you play the Ghostbusters game that came out like 4 or 5 years ago? Because that was supposed to be the third installment. No. The game was like kind of semi-broken and stuff like that, but it was supposed to be about going like the whole I can't remember what the heck it's called, the underworld and stuff like that and all this stuff. So that was supposed to be what it was supposed to look like. Here's something I just saw. I remember looking at this, but 5th installment of Indiana Jones. Have you looked at that?
No, you just told me to watch Kingdom of the Crystal Skull again, and
you didn't do it.
I haven't done it. No.
I didn't watch your show either, but I will. So apology to that.
What was the show that I asked you to watch? I don't even remember.
The Experts?
Oh, yes, The Experts. That's right. No, I haven't watched that either. It's been 20 years.
So speaking of like how they did that with the Ghostbusters thing, is like this. Steven Spielberg says he's going to cast a female to play Indiana Jones. Dude, come on, bro.
No, I have no problem with that. If he does that,
then it's a reboot.
It's
not something different.
Different is fine. I got no problem with different. I got no problem with female-led cast or minority-led cast. I like that shit a lot.
I want to see Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones.
What I would want is, I would be fine with a new archaeologist in the 60s that's related to him somehow, or a former student of his. Like, as long as it's connected to the franchise somehow, so that I don't have to go, well, that means all those other movies I loved, for all intents and purposes, didn't happen according to this one. Like,
you know why they didn't happen?
Well, I like the continuation of the story. That's what's fun for me, is I want to see the story continued, even if it's a completely different story.
Okay. Yeah.
I want to know that the other characters lived their lives and influenced these characters' lives.
Okay, then I want Short Round to come back.
Sure, Short Round can come back. I'd be fine with that. I don't mind those weird little side characters coming back and making just a nuanced reference. And I'll tell you, the movie that I saw most recently that did this perfectly was Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle. Did you see this?
Mm-hmm. So I didn't mind it.
No, I loved it, and they paid homage to the original film to say that this isn't a reboot, this isn't a remake. Alan was here. Alan Parrish, which was Robin Williams' character in the first one, had his name carved in the wood. So they gave a little wink and a nod to the audience that says, you can watch these back to back, and they don't step on each other. But you can't say that about Ghostbusters 1 and 2 and then Ghostbusters the remake, because that's not a trilogy. That's not a continuation.
No, they kind of messed it up a little bit. But I agree. New. I didn't mind it.
Yeah, I didn't. I liked the movie as a standalone film. I really liked it. It was just fine. But I like the continuation of the story. The other sequel that I'm really excited about coming out next year is John Wick 3. Super stoked about
those
John
are
Wick.
solid movies.
Yeah.
Hold on. So going back to your painted homage, that's like in the movie Predators, which I love, when they find the dead soldier and it very much resembles Arnold.
Yeah. Where
they should have just said, dude, can we please, can we throw you in this for 5 minutes? It would have been like, this is what happens to his character at the end, and when he's getting picked up by the helicopter.
Yeah,
I mean,
they went and took him out, and then they brought him to this planet for games. Yes,
yeah,
that's exactly what I want. I want the and the, at least in the Predator movies, all of them, in the Alien versus Predator movies, we all accept that those are continuations of the story.
right.
And that's what I want. I just want somebody's created this universe, somebody's done all this world building, and I want to know that world building wasn't in vain, and
Wasn't for
continues
naught.
on. Yeah, that it continues on. That's what's important for me. I like that stuff.
I do too. It's like just protect the lore. Just keep it cool. The Predator would be a dope, just like a real one, like going off of what Predator 2 or Predators, excuse me. There's one coming out. I've seen a lot of fan stuff. Remember in Predator 2, at the very end, he hands him that gun, and it says like 1751 on it, I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Danny Glover.
Right. So one of the Predators went back into the pirate, pirate.
Well, they've
times.
just been visiting for hundreds of years. They've been coming to this planet for sport for hundreds of years.
So came back a few hundred years ago and ended up fighting with a pirate captain.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
that's
go
how
remake some of those
stories.
stories.
Dude, there's so much like legends and lore and stuff on there.
Yeah,
I've seen some really dope ones that people have done online where it was like medieval times. I mean, think about that.
Oh, it'd be dope. So that's the kind of stuff that I love. Give me a continuation of the story. Let me revisit the world that you created. That's what I like, and I want to use that as a transition to talk about some of my favorite. It's on our list of NES games because some of my favorite are these same. So the reason this was, I think, important this week is I just saw a trailer for the new Spyro the Dragon game on. I think it's on Switch.
Really?
Yeah. So it's remastered. So they remastered the trilogy. Spyro was a PlayStation game originally. So Spyro, that you go back and it's that pixelated graphic. They've basically relaunched it. Same game, updated graphics. So you get to revisit the world, but in HD. Get to replay the game. The controls are enhanced a little bit. And so I was thinking about that treatment for some of my favorite NES games. And the one that you and I continuously talk about is Blaster Master.
Dude, I love that game.
That's
such an amazing game. The whole world, how you have to keep going. I mean, that's really the Metro, the Castle Metroidvania thing, right?
Yeah.
Going back and forth in there and going and finding all the upgrades and stuff. That's a tough game. Yeah. I went through that thing completely, and now I just finished it, so I get to choose some other characters and stuff. But that's amazing.
I would like to see a reboot of that. It apparently came out all the way up to the Wii U. You could play the original.
Well, it's pretty much like the original. There's a few tweaks.
Yeah, So
you could also, I would like a remake of the original Castlevania. Somebody did one that was like in 3D.
Well, they released a game recently for Castlevania, and it was pretty good. I didn't play it all the way through, but it was pretty good. I'd also like to see a remake of Legend of Cage, which was one of my all-time favorite games as a kid.
I'm still looking for that arcade. If I find that, I'm purchasing that. No struggle.
Yeah. So
that is such a cool game.
It's a super cool game. I got my kid for Christmas he has one of my old smartphones. He has my old Samsung Note 3. And so I bought him a Bluetooth controller that the phone kind of cradles into. And the first thing I did was I downloaded an NES emulator and a big master pack of games. And so he's been playing Legend of Cage and Kid Icarus and Donkey Kong.
Kid Icarus is dope.
The original.
They've tried to
Double
remake
Dragon.
that a few times.
Yeah.
I have the original, the remake. They did a reboot of the Double Dragon. This is actually not Double Dragon Neon, which I never played that for some reason. I need to play that. But they did like another remix for the Switch. I don't know. I'd like to just download the games. I don't want to go to the store.
Yeah, well, a good friend of mine, you can get plans online to get you buy this tabletop controller system. It's a wired controller system. You build a PC, you download an emulator, and you buy a 42 or 50-inch flat panel, and you have somebody build a cabinet for you and turn it into this master arcade with thousands of games. You can buy the controllers preloaded. Well, you can.
I have one.
You have a full, but you can make it like a stand-up arcade version.
Well, I have the games are on my computer. And then I have the controller, the big arcade stick. So it's a double arcade stick that you plug in and play games on. You want to talk about hilarious? When me and the wife play, and she's never played any of these games before, and I'm waiting for her to just go, "This is piece of shit. This game is cheating." I'm like,
her first-person shooter when she was a kid was shooting first person during revolutions in foreign countries.
Right. Well, she doesn't understand that those arcade games are made to steal your quarters. That's what it's for.
Right. Yeah, of course.
And one day maybe UNICEF will get into the gaming industry, but until then, this costs 25 cents, sir.
Yep.
So Contra, yeah.
Oh god, the original Contra 2 as well, with that weird little third person.
The wolf?
No, the Contra was.
Oh no, the look down version.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were cool. That was popular then.
Yeah, those were great games.
What do you call it? 3D map? How are you?
You got to think though that the game that hasn't changed much, that is continued to play today, by every generation, has got to be Tetris. That game continues to progress. Oh God! Before I lose my train of thought, I saw on ThinkGeek they have these mini arcades. They're about 5 inches high. It's like a mini arcade cabinet, and it plays the full Galaga, the full Pac-Man. They're licensed.
They sell them at Walmart.
Yeah, they're fully licensed. I got to get one. Just a little one on my desk with your fingertips. Oh my god.
It's hilarious. Yeah, they have Q*bert, all those games, Centipede. So speaking of games, Metroid is coming out. There's new Metroid version for the Switch. And
okay, is that what
it comes out December 31st? I've already bought it.
Yeah, well, the Metroid Prime on GameCube was the game that made that system, and then I'm a big fan of the Metroid series, always have been. So I'll play the shit out of that. What else are you playing? What else are you playing right now? Transition.
Well, I'm playing
number 6 on my list.
Yeah, well, hold on. One more thing have you ever played Castlevania Symphony of Night?
No.
So that is the greatest Castlevania game. Period. No question about it. Symphony of Night.
Right.
It's a very long, complicated game. I mean, basically, you upgrade. You have to know where to go and stuff. And certain monsters, you kill them, and they'll drop certain things. And so, I went through it the first time.
Okay.
Yeah, I went through. The music is unbelievable. Everything is amazing about it. I went through and I watched let's play this game, because I was like, man, I want to really enjoy this game. So I went through and watched this play videos.
Was it a 2-hour and 49-minute video? Because I'm looking at one right now.
Yeah. And they'll talk about it, and they go through it, and they show you how to. Because I wanted to experience everything in the game. There's a lot that you could miss, and that was one of the most rewarding experiences. I have that on my PlayStation, my PSP, my PlayStation Portable, and my PlayStation Vita. On all three, I've always buy it. It's an amazing game, so worth it. What am I playing now? A little bit of Tiny Barbarian on my Switch. Okay. I was playing Monster Hunter quite a bit, but I kind of got tired of that. I think I put like 130 hours in there. It was fun. It's just the same thing.
I've been playing Fortnite, man. I can't put it down. Fortnite.
I can't believe I haven't played Fortnite, so I'm gonna play that.
It's so good. They just released. It's a high explosive mode right now, so all the guns you can play in a mode where it's all rocket launchers and rocket launchers. Super fun. The sniper mode before that was super fun. I played the shit out of that.
It's a great game, and they put it on phones, and schools are like having trouble because people are like sneaking out and playing it.
Yeah. I'm playing.
Like here we are in class, right? In class, I've got the TI-83 with blackjack on it, and it looks like I'm just running some numbers and playing blackjack. And Doom, remember Doom?
I'll still play
TI-83.
Yeah.
On the TI-83.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. People ported all sorts of weird shit to those calculators.
Pretty powerful.
I've also been playing. So Fortnite, of course. I've been playing a little bit of Rocket League online. I downloaded the WWE 2K18 game because WrestleMania is coming up, so I was just having fun with that, playing around with my kid. My kid and I like to play those. He likes to create his own character himself, and so I make me, and then we operate.
How's the grappling in that?
Father and son. It's okay. I mean, those games, they haven't changed much since the original SmackDown.
Well, those sucked. Those always sucked. The original THQ games, THQ games, WCW, those were the best. They had, you grabbed them, you did your
THQ,
move.
These are the same moveset. They haven't changed that moveset in 20 years. So
That's 'cause it's the best.
The same basic gameplay that on those THQ SmackDown games for PlayStation 1, it's the same basic moveset now. The created characters are more advanced, and there are more advanced moves. You can create finishers and match types and all that stuff. But I mostly play it because my kid and I really like to have fun. He creates himself. He's wearing his jiu-jitsu gi.
Nice.
It's super fun. And he changes his finishing move depending on what he's doing in life. So right now his character's finishing move is a triangle choke. He pulls guard into a triangle choke and makes people tap.
That's pretty in-depth.
Yeah. So that's...
I downloaded Payday 2. I haven't played it yet, though.
What is it? I don't even know what that game is.
Payday 2 is... Well, Payday is like a bank robbing game. So you're like I think you're 4 criminals. And so you go in and you have like those Joker masks on and you run into the bank. It'd be dope if you could do the dead presidents or the presidents like in Point Break.
Yeah.
And you go into the bank and then you basically there's different ways to get out of this, and so you go in there and you start robbing the bank. You have to tie people up. You have to shoot the cameras or spray paint the cameras, and then you have to get into the safe, or you just want to take the drawers and all kinds of different stuff.
Okay. Yeah, it
And
sounds
then
good.
you
I'll
up,
take a-
you
I'll watch
you
the
level up. Yeah, you level up, and then like you get to choose like different perks, like a better gun. And I was like playing. I was like, dude, I'm really good at these shooting games, so I should just be smoking people. But the computer kind of like, if you start like murking the cops or something like that, the computer just gives you the business. It doesn't let it happen because it wants you to actually do the heist, not murder everyone inside. I was like,
Well,
I
that
got
was my favorite thing about the first 2 Assassin's Creed game was that you could just run around and kill citizens. You just random stab
Yeah, oh,
people.
yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
It was my
yeah. It's
favorite.
like if someone got like if I was running through the crowd and somebody bumped into me,
yeah.
dude, I just come up behind him and just shh, good night.
Yeah, exactly. You just give them the business and move on with your day.
Yeah, I might have to kick a guard's ass in the process, but I'm all down with that.
Yeah. That's what I liked about those games. So, yeah, I don't know. I haven't gotten into like an adventure game in quite a while. A lot of my game playing now is either quick and dirty, like Fortnite, where I can just get on and play a quick round in 15 or so minutes.
I need to get on that.
Or playing with my kids. I downloaded the Jackbox games, which are I don't know if you played those, but they're party games. So my kids
Yeah,
are
those are
really
fun.
enjoying those. Yeah. So most of my gaming now has been sort of relegated to parenting as well. But I'd like to get back into Civ. The new Civ is out, Civ 6. I want to start playing that.
It takes too much time.
I know it does.
So speaking of old NES games, I'm sitting here looking at for my for Christmas 2 years ago. No, last year for Christmas. No, year before that. My brother took one of our old Nintendo cartridges, so it's Nintendo Baseball, and he put a Raspberry Pi system in there, and it has every single Nintendo, Super Nintendo, TurboGrafx game in it.
Yeah, I've seen that before. I've seen the videos on how to build that shit.
Yeah, it's not expensive. It's pretty dope. It's sitting on my desk here, so I'll play Castlevania or something like that, or just like, there's no continues. Like you had to actually be able to beat this game in one sitting, which is crazy nowadays to think about it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my god, I miss those games. I miss those. So speaking of which, there's a barcade here in Sacramento. This is relevant to what you're just saying. And every Sunday is free quarter play. So all the games are free on the last Sunday of the month. And it takes the fun out of the games. You go to play one of those, the TMNT stand-up arcade or the Simpsons arcade, and you're not worried about the next quarter. It changes the game, and you get
but
bored.
You're not going to be worried. You're
not.
not going to be worried. I understand that, but you're not going to be worried as an adult. So we went to Pinball's Arcade here, it's in Cedar Park. They have I want to say they have 75 pinball machines at least, and then tons of arcade games, and they have a bunch of old games, like some really, really rare ones that you see out there. And so we play all those games. It's really fun. Mm-hmm. And they have amazing craft beer selection. Just getting blitz playing that. But an arcade game that we were playing was called Killer Queen. And so it's 5-on-5, and there's 2 queens, and so there's 3 ways to win. There's the troll way, which you get on the snail, and you have to ride this super slow snail into a cage, and it can go back and forth. And then the second way you can win is a military victory, which means killing their queen 3 times. Or the third way is basically collect these berries, and you put these berries into their hive. The game is unbelievably strategy. People are just, it's crazy. So it's 10 people playing it. We were playing with the national team that was there, I guess. I know it's kind of funny to hear that.
The United States national team?
Well, the national team for Austin, Texas.
So
I guess,
the local
I don't know.
team.
Yeah, I guess.
All right.
They had a big TV up, and they had it so people could sit down and watch the games play and stuff like that. And it was
I'm a big fan of pro gaming, man. Major League Gaming is awesome. I'm a big Twitch watcher, and I'll broadcast occasionally.
I happen to be a world champion snail rider, and I talk a lot of shit when I play.
All right. There you go.
And let's just say that these people might have been intimidated.
But did you roll up to their bus afterwards and chuck a dolly through the window? Is the question.
Yeah, I did.
And
then once the window was broken, I threw a pizza in there.
Yeah, of course you did. Why not? Then you slid 2 or 3 pitchers of beer down, just like that old video game.
Yeah, a tapper.
Tapper, yes.
So they've got a tapper there. So that's an interesting game. So they've got an original tapper. So when it first came out, it was Budweiser. Mm-hmm. And then shortly after that, I think there's only maybe 1,500 Budweiser ones. and then the rest of them are root beer tapper.
Good
Interesting.
games. I miss those
Yeah,
games.
those are fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're over an hour. You want to wrap it up?
No, we got to talk about wearing sunglasses inside.
Oh,
so
oh my God, another douchebag moves.
So
yeah, what are you referencing here? I don't know what you're talking about. Who did this? Why are you mad?
Tony Ferguson.
Oh, Tony.
That's why he's out of the. That's why he's out of the match with Khabib, because he was wearing those fucking sunglasses inside, and he tripped over some cable because it's a dark area, and he tripped over the cable, and it tore like his MCL, like right off the bone.
He jacked up his knee. So you're saying he jacked up his knee because he was going full douchebag, wearing sunglasses inside, in a gym environment or something? Is it a real problem? Is it super douchey to wear sunglasses? What about those
There's only two types of people who wear sunglasses inside. Larry David quote: blind people and assholes.
I want to disagree with that so much. What about those people
Why?
who wear...
You can't.
I can. I like.
How?
I like it when people who have maybe they're still douchey, but that those big sort of gradient ombre faded glasses, they might be eyeglasses that are just tinted, maybe not. You know what I'm talking about.
Well, if there are eyeglasses, that's acceptable.
I guess so. I guess that falls under you're blind.
Right. So hold on a second here. So the thing that always kills me is like when you're at a place and it's nighttime and you got somebody with fucking sunglasses on their head or something. Usually they're fucking Oakleys or something.
Oh, like
Jesus.
they've at least lifted them off their eyes, but they continue to wear them on
but they're
their
like
head.
on the top of their head or something.
Like a
it's
total
like, dude,
douchebag.
It's fucking 1:00 in the morning. How the fuck are you still wearing sunglasses on your head?
That's the move, man. That's just the look. Look. You know me. I'm world renowned for my scarves, hats, glasses. I can't talk shit about anybody wearing anything because
but you're making a statement with your scarves or your thing. You know that's ironic and funny.
Yeah, well, sort of. I mean, I just accept that tonight I'm gonna dress like a pirate, and I'm gonna wear my.
Is this today National Pirate Day?
No, it's just that's a Tuesday for me. So I'm gonna go out in my ankle length leather pirate coat because it's just what I felt like. It's just what felt right to me in the moment. So I'm just not one to. I can't. I'm super douchey is what I'm trying to say, and so I'm just genuinely fine with whatever people want to wear. I'll talk shit about them, but
hold on.
It's casting stones for my glass house.
Time out. One quick thing.
Yeah.
We were going to talk. We forgot to put this in there. We were going to talk about. So we'll segue this in the douchebag thing.
All right.
The lady fighting the tiger off with the broomstick.
Oh my God, yeah.
I just said broom. That might have been bad. It was probably just a stick.
All I read was an article that a woman in India fought off a tiger with a stick, and I saw the picture. She was lacerated up, but she still fought.
Oh, she threw. She threw down.
She threw down. She won.
Oh wow.
Yeah, tiger attacked. She fought back. Tiger went away.
Do we have a picture of this tiger? I mean, was this like a?
No, I don't have a picture of the tiger, but I have a picture of the lady.
All right, what animal? Name an animal that you could just fuck up barehanded.
I could definitely fuck up a chihuahua. I'll choke that motherfucker right out. I'll
yeah, but it's gonna be like you don't have to kill. Do you have to kill it?
No, but I will fuck up a vicious chihuahua, and I'm talking a mean one, like a mean, angry, vicious. Once you get up into like a mid-sized dog.
Well, okay, hold on. What about like a rooster? You have to fight a rooster.
Oh, I'd fight a rooster. I'd kick him right in his rooster grill, right in the beak.
You ever seen those things fight they come flying at your face?
Yeah, cockfighting. There's a whole thing about it, but I'll still.
I know. Well, you'd have to get a hold of it though.
I'm all legs. I'm just throwing kicks, man. I'm Chuck Norrising that little rooster dude right in his grill. I'd feel comfortable going against a bunny. I'd fuck up a bunny.
Would you?
Yeah, I'd fuck up a bunny. I would feel.
What about like a fox? What about a fox?
I don't know. Fox. I would get bit a lot. I would walk away from that fight. The fox.
Do we have to put you in a small enough room?
Yeah. So the fox would be talking some shit, and I'd be like, you know what, man? That's just not worth it. I don't want to fight you. Same thing with a cat, like a really ornery house cat.
Ornery.
I'm not gonna fight that guy. I'm just gonna.
What are you talking about? So you're gonna have to. Here's what you're gonna have to do. You have to close the distance. You're gonna have to grab the cat. It's gonna be horrible. You're just gonna have to start beating the shit out of it. It's terrible. I'm talking. We need to get some like an adversary that's big.
I feel like PETA does not approve of this conversation.
They don't. What about like?
I don't want to fight any animal. I don't want to fight any animal. I love all the animals.
But
I'll eat them. Okay. But I don't want to fight them.
You have to fight it. So you're in a room, and it's got like 2 foot of water in it.
Okay.
And we put like a like a tuna in there or something like that, and you have to like fight it.
I'll fight a tuna. I'll fight a whole tuna.
An 800-pound tuna?
Yeah, I'll fight him. I'll fight a tuna.
Yeah, you lose that one.
Maybe, but I would do that.
How are you gonna hurt it? I mean,
I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I think I'm gonna take its back and choke it out. I'm gonna try to take its back.
Well, you'd have to choke it out. So you just like lift it out of the water.
I guess. Yeah. Well, no. I'm gonna take its back. I'm gonna climb on its back. I'm gonna ride it. I'm gonna kidney punch it while I'm doing it. Just start smacking him in the tuna kidneys. I don't even know if a tuna has kidneys.
Okay.
I'm gonna in the loin, in the tuna loin, and the right in the starkist. I'm just gonna keep punching him until he stops thrashing.
That might work.
Maybe. I don't know.
What if you had a stick? Would you upgrade your fighting ability then?
I'd try to stab him. I don't know if I would club him. It depends on, like, if it's a broomstick, a nice
like,
solid piece of wood.
Yeah, it could be sharp on the end.
Yeah.
Are you yelling like white whale or something like that when you stab this thing?
No, I'm not going full Ahab, but I think that's definitively where I'm going to end this, is that I would definitely fight a tuna. I might not win, but I'd fight a tuna. I'd fight a salmon. I'd fight any fish in 2 feet of water.
Maybe we'll talk about what I'd fight.
Fight it.
Maybe we'll talk about what I'd fight next time.
All right. What would Ryan fight next time on 7-ish thing? So let's just recap. We talked about Conor fucking McGregor, UFC 223. I got on my soapbox about voting and alienated our 3 of our 13 listeners. Bill and Ted, other sequels. Best NES games. What are you playing now? Douchebag moves. We threw in some animal fighting. Some Vegas odds were in there. Did we talk about
some good stuff?
Transform Fitness, the perpetual sponsor.
Did we talk about how I have now selected the microphone that I purchased rather than using the computer mic?
Technical difficulties. Told a couple of war stories from the IT days. I feel like we accomplished a lot in this podcast. So I guess that's it. I guess that's the end. Cue the theme music. Cue the like the really shitty 2 or 3 people in the audience, like the one person applauding, maybe one guy in the back goes yeah, and that's it.
He's like woogie boogie.
Yeah, something like that. And I guess we'll see you next week, next time.
Yeah, same bat time, same bat channel.
Yeah, and hopefully right now your puppet is on the screen waving goodbye.
The puppet. All
right, man.